Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the first of a kind of short series that I'm thinking of doing, called Explaining Beys, or Explaining a Beys series. So, for the first episode, I'm going to be explaining the Dran series of Beyblades. Specifically Dran Sword, Dran Dagger, and Dran Buster. I don't have Dran Brave yet, because I just don't have it, but I'll just explain each Dran Bey one by one and explain what attributes they have and what's best for each combo. So let's start off with Dran Sword. Now Dran Sword's a good all-arounder pick as it can perform multiple extreme dashes, similar to how Dran Dagger is, but I'll get that in the next section. It can deliver some good hits, but overall is the weakest Dran out of the entire Dran family. However, if you want to make it better, I do have some options for you. Going with something like Taper can help you conserve your stamina and sometimes even go faster. But the most important part of this is that you get to conserve a little bit more stamina without sacrificing your extreme dash ability, which is a really good plus if you really want to have those barrage attacks but still be able to maintain good stamina so you can outspin your opponents. Similarly, parts like Needle or Ball can work best if you have a worn-out Dran Sword. But if you have a Dran Sword that's completely new, I suggest using it in your attack setups, since Dran Sword's still a decently good blade to use for attack. Now let's move on to the second Bey in the Dran family. The second Bey we have in the Dran family is Dran Dagger. Now unfortunately I don't have the rush bit, so I won't be able to make it as accurate to Dran Dagger as it is, but I put Cyclone since it's the closest thing we have to, a rush bit, since they have pretty much the same gimmick, which is repeated extreme dash. But I'm not just gonna have just one Beyblade in the stadium. I'm gonna have two, which is Beyond Crest. Now, unlike Dran Sword, Dran Dagger has the ability to make consecutive hits and do consecutive extreme dashes, but most of the rules still apply to Dran Dagger as they do with Dran Sword. Here are some options that you could choose. Like, for example, you could put the 960 ratchet on, and you could put it on bits like Taper, which, again, similar to how Dran Sword was, it gives you more stamina to deal with those stronger hits, but it could also be a gamble, because the tilt can also drain your stamina if you're not careful with it enough. It's the same case with Needle and Ball, but if I were to say the better bit, I'd say Ball's a better bit if you want to make a more counter-attack and a stationary attacker centered Dran Dagger, since Ball can help conserve better stamina than it does with the Needle bit. Now the final Dran in the Dran family that I'm going to be showing off in this video is Dran Buster, which, yeah, I'll get into that in its own section. So let's get into it. Now, Dran Buster is the strongest, but also the most uncontrollable Dran of the entire Dran family because of its unbalanced design and its lack of stamina in its stock combo form, since the Excel bit has 16 gears and really doesn't benefit that much when it comes to using it against more difficult type Beyblades. But I have some combos for you, and spoiler alert, they're all attack centered, but they help conserve a little bit of stamina or amplify its one-hit KO. The only bit that can really work with Dran Buster that works with all the other Drans is Taper, because it can help conserve stamina. But then again, it's also a gamble, because you really can't be certain on how Taper works in battle. Another balance bit I think could work for Dran Buster is Gear Point, since it can help conserve a lot more stamina, but again, similar to how Taper is with Dran Buster, is very, very gambling, and you really can't guarantee a win. Now let's move on to the attack bits that I feel like work the best. First off, honorable mention goes to Rush, since Rush is one of the better bits to use with Dran Buster. But if you want to go with the 16 gears, Level isn't a bad option when it comes to using Dran Buster in competitive, as I say, as I repeat in this section a lot, using Dran Buster on level is also very much a gamble, since even though it could have closer wins, it's not guaranteed that you'll get a win. Alternatively, you could use bits like flat or low flat because they could also give you better stamina, because flat is basically just the better version of Excel. Next up is Cyclone. Yeah, Cyclone's also good for attack, and I didn't even get to finish my sentence before Dran Buster straight up disintegrated Leon Crest. But yeah, Cyclone is good for those repeated extreme dashes, and overall is also another good bit you could use for Dran Buster. And finally, we have my favorite attack bit. You could see how it sliced through Leon Crest. Which, yeah, even though it did have worse stamina, because it sort of tilted a little bit and just barely slashed through Leon Crest, it's still a decently good bit because of how fast it goes, and the fact that you can go like for a fast extreme dash and slash through. Now I know many people have already done this idea before, but I feel like I wanted to relay my own information despite many people already coming with better stuff than me. But I just wanted to allow myself to create these combos and allow myself to be creative with what I created with these combos and my in-depth explanations on why I think these combos are good. So anyway guys, that's it. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tune in next time. Goodbye folks.